strutting their stuff on your feel-good breakfast show a little bit later. Look at that. Leopard print for the win on a Friday. Just saying. So, I hope you're ready. Grab a cup of tea, get yourself mobilized, because there's another person who has donned the mustard for the most when it comes to a breakfast show. It is Graham giving you all you need to know about our social media question.
We are the fertile mustard earth that is going to germinate the seeds of creativity and inspiration today, my friend. We are going to be blown away. We've got so many ridiculously talented people squeezed into the studio today. You're going to have a blast. We're also going to hop out of the studio where our Zozo is out on the range. Maybe you can go and spot her. If you're anywhere in the region of the V&A waterfront, keep an eye out. If there's a crowd going, Zoe, that's probably where Zoe is. Now, we love the fact that we stand on the foot of the weekend. I'm so glad that we get to do that with you. Look at that face. That's how happy we are, because the weekend is upon us. But what does that look like for you? So describe it to us. Inspire us to get out there and enjoy ourselves, or inspire us to get indoors and do nothing just with our kids. Whatever that this perfect weekend in is, I want to know. And we want a little bit of proof, maybe some photos or some videos. We want to see you having fun today, because that's what Friday is all about, and we're going to do our best in those efforts. But first, yes, we have to grapple with the day's headlines. And before Roy spills a little bit of that tea and is the boss, let's get into those news headlines to set the tone, and then I'll touch on the sport.
Let's do that right now. In fact, starting with national news, President Cyril Ramaphosa says the government will not accept the violent nature of the National Education, Health and Allied Workers Union NAHAWU strike at various health facilities. He was responding to a question from IFP Chief Whip Naren Singh during his oral reply session in Parliament. Singh wanted to know how government would ensure that police are brought on board to protect the rights of citizens. There have been reports of intimidation and deaths that occurred as a result of the strike. Now, delegates at the Africa Energy Indaba Conference in Cape Town have called for speedy implementations of the inputs made by role players in the past 3 days. Energy experts have urged governments to explore all avenues to bring solutions to the energy crisis. They say governments must ensure that certain expressed views are not sidelined. Some 600 million Africans are without electricity, and energy experts and ministers that took part in the 3-day Africa Energy Indaba have appealed for closer cooperation between African countries to bring solutions to the energy crisis. Now, on to international news. 6 people have been confirmed dead after a bus and a train collided in the Nigerian city of Lagos. 71 people were injured, 29 of them critically. The accident happened yesterday morning during rush hour, and both vehicles were carrying commuters. The bus was taking civil servants to work, and the train was shuttling commuters from the outskirts of Lagos into the city. The governor of Lagos has declared 3 days of mourning and had a half work day today. Flags will also fly at half-mast. And a second round of talks between Turkey as well as Sweden and Finland on the Nordic neighbours' accession to NATO began just yesterday at NATO headquarters, that is in Brussels. Now, fearing that they would be next targeted after Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine last year, Finland and Sweden, they applied for NATO membership in May 2022. However, NATO member Turkey is delaying or may even block the process and is seeking certain guarantees from the 2 Nordic countries. The parliaments of all existing NATO members have to approve their accession by majority vote. And the hijacking of vehicles of late has moved to a completely new level. Hijackers are colossal, blatant, fearless, and couldn't care less if anyone knows their identity. And oh yes, they absorb their loot right on the spot. And they also do this regularly. The most famous hijacker is a greedy wild elephant, which stops passing trucks to steal sugarcane. The 35-year-old Jumbo, nicknamed Fatty, emerges from the forest on a road in a province in Thailand every year. The positions himself, of course, this is what he does, directly in front of the oncoming trucks, forcing them to stop. Then, very casually reaches up to the sweet-smelling cargo on their trailers. Footage shows Fatty gorging the sweet, freshly harvested snacks. An onlooker, Au Wanapin, said, Fatty comes out of the forests every year to laced to the, sugarcane trucks. And of course, actually, many of them do this now. Now, Thailand has some 2,000 protected Asian elephants wandering freely in protected forests. Killing them carries a prison term of at least 3 years and a massive fine. But either way, a hungry elephant can't be stopped. And I'm hungry for sporting action. So, Graham, feed me.
Well, we start with an elephant-sized contribution in the cricket yesterday. Talk about putting your hand up. Gerald Coetzee, welcome to the fold. He claimed 3 wickets to help the Proteas take the advantage after day 2 of what's proven to be quite a dramatic test series against the Windies. So the young paceman took 3 for 41 in 14 overs, his best return in the 3 innings he's bowled so far for at the highest level for the Proteas. And that was to dismiss the tourists for 251 in reply to the hosts' first innings of 320. And former Windies captain Jason Holder certainly was the mainstay of their innings, ending on 81 not out. So often he steps in this role. South Africa then faced 3 overs late in the day to reach the close on 4 for none, an overall lead of 73 as they go into today's play. Some scintillating footballing action on offer on a European stage last night. Arsenal and Sporting Lisbon couldn't be divided in a very entertaining 2-all draw in the Europa League last 16. First leg clash last night was Hedemasa Morita's own goal that sent the Premier League leaders back to London with honours even. That was after Gonzalo Inacio and Paulinho's goals helped Sporting recover from William Saliba's opener. And elsewhere, Jose Mourinho's Roma, they earned a pretty comfortable 2-0 win at home against Real Sociedad to put 1 foot into the quarterfinals. And then Man United, meanwhile, they put that 7-0 loss over the weekend. I promise you that's the last time I'll say it. 7-0, no, the second last time I'll say that. That's the last time I'll say it. That 7-0 loss last weekend behind them to beat Real Betis 4-1, thanks to goals from Rashford, Anthony, Bruno, and Weghorst. Where were they last weekend? And then we move on to rugby and a bit of a coup. The Sharks have fended off interest from the Stormers by re-signing Springbok utility back Apalele Fassi. So the Sharks announced on Thursday that Fassi signed a new multi-year deal to keep plying his trade in Durban. Good news for the franchise, and he puts to bed reports that Fassi could move to the Sharks' coastal rivals, the Stormers. That was after Afrikaans newspaper Rapport reported last month that the URC champions were very eager to lure Fassi to Cape Town. Then on to golf. Dylan Mostert's fine recent form continued on day 1 of the magical Kenya Open as he fired an opening round 64 to share the lead with John Catlin. The 24-year-old South African won his maiden European Challenge Tour title at the Nelson Mandela Bay Championship just 2 weeks ago and is keeping that form and impressed once again, picking up 5 shots on the front 9 before making 3 more gains after the turn to finish on 7 under par. Go and seal the deal. We'll delve a little deeper into some of the Six Nations rugby a bit later in our sports report, but right now, foot of the weekend, let's get the weather down.
Thanks a lot, G. Let's take a look at the weather. Now, having formed to the northwest of Australia some 30 days ago, Storm Freddy is still going strong and could end up in the record books as the longest-lasting tropical storm on record. The World Meteorological Organization is currently analyzing the weather system to see if its longevity is indeed record-breaking. Over the past few weeks or so, it has bounced between southern Mozambique and coastal Madagascar. However, it's now strengthening again and is expected to head back to Mozambique as a cyclone once more, with wind gusts in excess of 160 kilometers per hour, as well as a coastal storm surge as well. So expected to make landfall on the coast of central Mozambique later today as winds gradually ease. Flooding will become the major hazard. Between 30 and 50 centimeters of rain could fall in central Mozambique and southern Malawi over the weekend, causing devastating floods. Next week, impactful rain will also occur over parts of Zimbabwe as well as Zambia. Of course, stay safe. Now, first up, sunrise views this morning. We have Melissa out in Durban, capturing a gracious blaze of red tones in the sky. I want you to take a look at this. You may want to do a screenshot if your TV has that function. It's gorgeous. Now, Zia in Westville also sent over this one, a holiday feel, very calming view. And Stallone then sent in another magical shot that you'll see right after this one with some bright pink tones brightening up the sky in Durban. And May, also from Durban, snapping this one. Pink-infused views. Durban is really showing off today. I feel like if there's any other region to come through, it is your chance to shine. On 063-408-8863, we'd love to see you featured right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Let's take a look at the temperatures, give you an idea of what to wear today. Let's start off with Polokwane, as always, 16 to 29 today. Bombela, you've got 19 on the cards. You rise steadily to 31 degrees Celsius. Pretoria, you max out at 33 from 16. Joburg, 31 to 14. Now, Maya King, for you, 17 to 33 today. Klerksdorp, snap, same max, 33 from a low 14. And Kimberley, yes, you guessed it, 33 is your high to 17, the low there. Bloemfontein, looking good, 11 to 31. Now, Richards Bay, 22 to 30 with a chance of some thunder and showers, around a 41% chance. Pietermaritzburg, 18 to 29, also 40% chance of precipitation, possibly some thunder. Durban, 23 to 19, and Umtata, 16 up to 32. East London, you can expect 20 as a low this morning, 29 in the afternoon. Cradock, you've got 12 to 35. That's a very, very nice warm temperature. Gqeberha, you've got 15 rising to 25. And then, of course, in fact, at Gqeberha, you've got 18 to 27. George, 15 to 25. And then Cape Town, 15 to 20. Worcester, 10 to 27. Sutherland, 7 to 28. And yes, that's not a fake number. That's 39 as a max in Uppington. So just take a deep breath, find some shade, get some hydration, and stay with us. You'll feel good. Breakfast Show Expresso right here on S3.
Ah, the boys behind the scenes, hard at work because we've got 3 hours to really savor this morning. Roy promises us a story that's going to make us laugh today. He's going to renew our faith, and he might shake it just a little bit, but he's going to take us inside the news headlines this morning. We cannot wait. And I've got this impending sense of doom, and I just can't put my finger on it. It's not my beautiful beverage. That's just lovely. I don't know what could be making me just a little bit terrified about walking into this space. Seb, stop looking so nice and sweet on your face when I know it's not going to be like that. Yeah, we're going to get into a little bit of fitness. We're going to be using our own body weight. And yes, we will tread lightly. So if you need to get up and moving, get those rusts, the cobwebs out of your body, Seb's going to help us do it. We'll see you in just a moment.
Join the bank that's best for your money. Nedbank. See money differently.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. I really missed you, and I'm so glad you stayed right there because it's your feel-good breakfast show. It's Friday, and it feels good. It really does. Weekend vibes, but we have to focus on the headlines from around the world. Now, you may see them on the papers as you head off to work, but news editor Roy Simpson, he articulates these beautiful headlines in such a way that it sounds like poetry in the best way. Roy Simpson, an honor and a pleasure to see you. Now, let's get straight into it. There's a strike. I mean, I just did the news now, and we covered the strike over here. It seems to be getting to fever pitch. It seems to be getting, it's a very, very violent type of strike at the moment. Now, for anybody who's been under a rock, what is the strike about? What is going on? What are the demands, and what's the current situation?
Okay, it's a NEHAWU strike. That's the National Education, Health and Allied Workers Union.
Yeah.
It's about the health sector, though. But interestingly, they're the only union that's striking. None of the other unions in that sector, Denosa and people like that, none of them are striking.
Okay.
And it is, as you would expect, it's about money. So you do have these alarming headlines. The Western Cape, places like Khayelitsha, no medical services at all. The Eastern Cape, Mthatha, you've got pregnant women being told to get out the hospitals, that there's no services for them. And then you've also got a situation where in KwaZulu-Natal, at Stanger, the protesters actually attacked an ambulance, and there was a child inside in critical condition. And apparently they'd assaulted the EMS staff in the ambulance before they decided that the child could be admitted. And then they wouldn't let the EMS staff leave. So there are these headlines, and there's I believe it's the Premier of the Gauteng, or the MEC for Health, directly laying the deaths of 4 people at the foot of these protesters. So yes, it is really, really serious. And it really doesn't play well because it's all about money. They want 10% increase in general terms for their salaries.
Yes.
Government's offering 4.7%. And it's the friction over the money that's led to this protest.
So if you are having this friction over money, does that not supersede the purpose of a strike? Because, you know, you want to be heard. I mean, I don't want to get into strike culture in South Africa because we're going to be here for about a couple of hours. But, you know, I just wanted to know in terms of resolution, if Nahau is the only one striking, and it doesn't feel like, you know, any of the other unions are doing the same, I feel like a resolution is further away because it just feels like there's less solidarity within their, you know, demand search.
Absolutely. I mean, they're on their own, and there are staff from other unions inside the hospitals trying to provide services.
Yes.
And then you've got Nahau's spokesperson, Baxolisa Mali, making a statement that your employer, which means the government, and there's an issue with treating the government as an ordinary employer, but anyway, your employer is telling you that people are dying because of you, but I'm saying, I'm paraphrasing now, I'm saying that it's not our responsibility to keep these people's lives. And that's kind of exactly what we expect of the health sector.
Yeah.
So they're really not playing this very well in terms of the headlines. And yeah, I'm not sure that there's an immediate end point. But of course, it goes with the whole package, the whole public service unhappiness with wage negotiations.
There's no doubt anybody who works in public service, I mean, over the past 4 years, that illuminated the fact that, I mean, there's a big deficit there with regard to payment in that particular area. And I know there's good grounds for people to be remunerated in a certain way. However, the irony here, which is very sad and often is the case with strikes, is that the same people who are looking after others, who are creating health and health security, I should say, in this country, are now doing the damage. And that's a sad irony for me.
It is, and yet at the same time, how do they express these issues if they're not getting resolution through the normal channels?
Yes.
I mean, a qualified nurse in South Africa is earning 14,000 rand. That really isn't a lot of money. And certainly when you compare it with other parts of government and with the private sector nurses are averaging somewhere around 20,000 for the equivalent.
Yeah.
So they have legitimate complaints. The question is, how do you pursue those complaints? And you were saying something along the lines of understanding where they're at in terms of this money. But at the same time, and across the public service, government employs like 1.3 million people. That's 13% of the total labor force. But they earn 33% of the wages of the total labor force. So there's a huge disparity. In some ways, they are overcompensated.
Yes.
And that becomes the friction. Government saying, we can't pay you more. It's not even justifiable. And they're going, but look at what we're being paid. We're being paid a pittance. So that's the friction.
Interesting to actually navigate that particular circumstance. But that's the situation at the moment with regard to the Nehawa strike. Of course, as things develop, we got Roy here who'll stay on the couch because we have some other headlines to tackle. One of the headlines, I'm not sure if you saw that, but it says, hold on, I think it's in the sports section, TV presenter pulls a muscle on national television. I'm not sure, have you seen that headline?
No.
That's about to happen.
It's breaking news, literally. It's breaking news. Yes, it had to happen. This is quite a big thing for me on my own personal journey. You've had a front row seat to see me kind of get my body back and start moving again. And I want you to move with me right now. Get up off your couch. let's have a little bit of fun. And we've obviously got the right person in our corner to guide us through this process. When executed correctly, using just your body weight can give you a run for your money. So whether the gym isn't your thing, or maybe you don't have the time, it doesn't fit into your ecosystem, clear out the space right now in your living room and get a little sweat on with us. And here to make you do just that is athlete and gym owner and motivational speaker in my life, Seb Prentice, because you have become a motivational force in my world, Ruben. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
That being said, you know, so far in my encounters, we put barriers in front of us to train. It's so easy to say, I don't have the time today. I don't have the energy. Oh, I'm feeling a little bit stiff. There is always room to move. So let's get
I agree. And I think the first step is making it as easy as possible. So that's why we're going to keep it nice and simple today. 3 simple movements, really nice workout structure. It's something that I always resort to if I'm in a little bit of a rush.
Okay.
So what it is, it's basically, it's called a pyramid. So I won't take you through the whole pyramid. I'll just show you the 3 different movements
structure,
and the gist of it. So what we're going to do is for each exercise, the first one being a squat.
Sure.
We're going to do 10 reps, and then we're going to go to 9 reps, and then 8, 7,
okay, I see what you're saying.
6.
What does that do? What are you telling the body, the muscles, the mind when you break it down like that?
So basically, that's just a nice and engaging way to break down your rep range. It's a lot more interesting and enjoyable than doing 3 sets of 10 or 5 sets of 5. And it gives you the illusion that it's actually getting easier, but you are still...
Well, I suppose mentally it is, in a
because
way,
you're doing fewer reps, but obviously the total load is increasing. So this is just a nice basic movement. You can do a squat like this. If you want to make it slightly more challenging, you can add a jump to the squat. If you struggle with going all the way down, you don't have to go all the way down. You can just kind of do 90 degrees and up, and that's the first movement.
What's the key thing here with a squat? Because I've heard there are some bodybuilders that will do 80% squats and then a little bit of something else.
Yes.
It activates something. What's going on? Why is this the go-to for that foundation?
So a squat is a really good functional day-to-day movement that we're doing a lot. It uses really important muscle groups in your lower body, your
Big
glutes,
muscles. Yeah.
glutes, your hamstrings, your quads. And, you know, if you think about it, a lot of the time during the day, we're getting up from a desk or from the couch or something, you're squatting.
It's the human condition.
So it's a very functional movement that transfers into day-to-day life.
I love that.
So the next movement, being, so obviously, as I said, we'll go 10 reps, 9 reps, 8, 7, 6, all the way down to 1. And then next, what we're gonna do is, and I think it's perfectly fine to do it off your knees. People give push-ups off the knees too much stick. I think it's a great movement. So you're just gonna be on your knees like this.
Okay.
Go down as far as you can. If it's only this much, that's fine. If it's all the way, that's even better. And you're just gonna push up, same thing. So after we've done our pyramid of squats, we're gonna do our push-ups. And again, there are ways to make it more difficult and there are ways to make it easier. So if you wanna make it easier, just don't go as far down.
Go to the dip, sure.
Yeah, if you wanna make it more challenging, you can either lift off like that, or to make it even more challenging, you can lift your arms up at the bottom, release,
Lovely.
and then come back up.
I mean, there's been a little bit of that in a lot of the rehab that I'm doing, and it's amazing how everything starts here.
With the core.
With the core and filters out. It's amazing how
Precisely.
yeah, once you, and I think it sends the body a message as well. It kind of lets the body know that you're okay.
Yes.
That you're safe, you've got that structure. I love that. So now you've got the pump. We've done the
exactly. We've done a
push-ups.
bit of upper body, so we've done some lower, we've done some upper, we've incorporated the core with that as well. And then just a little bit more of a core focused movement, which I'm sure you've also done quite a bit of in your rehab for your back.
Oh, yeah.
We're reaching out with opposite legs like that. Opposite hand, opposite foot, reaching out. Keeping the core as stable as possible.
And it's weird, doing these sorts of movements, you know, I joke about dripping with sweat. When you've got to focus the mental connection. And I think that's been a big thing for me, is rebuilding that mind-body connection and letting the different parts of the brain and the hemispheres of the brain reconnect to the body. And it sounds ridiculous, but you lose your proprioception, you lose so much through that process. And it's the small, simple exercises that have got me back, eh?
Exactly, and you don't have to overcomplicate things at all. Pick a handful of movements that are simple and stimulate the various parts of the body, and just scale it over time. Even with this specific workout, you can start with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You don't have to go 10 all the way down. You know, this can take you can make this workout anywhere from 3 minutes to 15 minutes and longer. It all depends on how much time you've got, but you don't need any equipment, and you can squeeze it into whatever little pocket of time you've got during the day.
Yeah. And you can get your glisten on. You can get a bit of sweat going, but just move. And it's amazing. For these last few minutes, I've thought about nothing other than my body. And there's something in that. We're going to keep moving, and we're going to keep addressing those headlines. Don't move a muscle. No, actually, move every muscle if you can. Just a little bit.
Only you can make my day.
Support your health journey with a good night's rest by winning an Edblow Queen Bed with 10,000 Rand. To enter, comment on the competition post on the Clover Crush Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram pages and tell us how winning this prize will help you unlock your 100%. Make sure you include the hashtag Crush in your answer. Competition closes on the 19th of March at midnight. T's and C's apply.
Testing 1, 2. You can hold my hand if you want to, and I can break free if you ask me to. Tell me everything you wish that you could hide. Hello, testing 1, 2.
Hey, what's that?
This is Octifex, a new accessible platform to trade Forex on global markets.
Cool. What's a Forex?
It's short for foreign exchange, trading currencies.
Buy low, sell high. Score points, right?
Exactly.
What's leverage?
It's like you got cool friends. They vouch for you, and you can trade it big.
Precisely.
So basically it's an app where you learn and trade, and it's safe, and it looks good.
That about sums it up here. Octifex, trading made clear.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to Feel Good Breakfast Show. Expresso here in S3. And I mean, you may know Bart Simpson, Homer Simpson. But my favorite Simpson's Roy Simpson. Especially when he tackles the news with such poise, I must just tell you. And there was a big story this weekend, and we've been seeing it in all these papers. So, you know, I'm going to tread carefully here. SARS and the president. It actually sounds like a children's book, if you think about it. So what happened was, and I've been tracking this, first and foremost, SARS says, right, that the Cyril Ramaphosa is tax compliant with regard to certain farm and monies. And then there's a story around the fact that the US dollars on that form had never entered the country of some sort. It just feels like there's a little bit of, I don't know, it just feels like there are two truths in the same context here.
Those particular headlines, the two headlines that came out, the DA was really, really enthusiastic about the first one, which was that the money's undeclared. So that's about the money itself. Regard the money as an entity, as a thing.
Okay.
Whether it's 580,000 US dollars or 4 million US dollars, whatever US dollars it is,
all right,
it's an entity. It has come into the country and it hasn't been declared.
Right.
Which you're meant to do. If it's anything over, I think, 25,000 Rand. But the issue is that the person who should have declared that is the person who brought the money in, who's that Sudanese business person.
Okay.
So that's the one headline. Then you've got a separate headline, which is Edward Kieswetter, the Commissioner for the South African Revenue Service, coming out and saying, obviously with the President's permission, because tax issues are very, very secretive and personal and private, saying that the President is tax compliant. Now, it seems like there's a relationship between those two because we're talking about the same incident. To be tax compliant, he has to have declared that money to SARS himself through his business. But, man, there are so many grey areas around this.
Yeah, but what is compliance in this context? If there's no responsibility, if it's not your responsibility to declare the money, then you are still compliant as a taxpayer.
Well, you declare it as part of your business.
Yes.
So you don't necessarily have to be able to be certain that the money that's coming in is entirely legitimate. But what you have to do is you have to declare that money because it's coming into your business.
Okay.
So he's, in theory, done that part. But tax compliant is actually quite a soft statement. It doesn't tell you a lot of information.
No.
For example, and this is really on my mind, when did the President become tax compliant? Because it could have been 20 minutes before Edward Kieswetter made that announcement. So it could be a situation that, no, he hadn't declared that money to SARS. It came out in public. He then declared that money. Now he's tax compliant. Because SARS is there to collect money. They're surprisingly malleable when it comes to how that money comes in and when it comes in, as long as they get it. So that's issue number one. And then, of course, everything that's in Sandile Ngobo's report about that money, about the fact that the President didn't satisfy him, that it was part of a legitimate sale, that there's a substantial doubt that there was an actual transaction involving Buffalo. All of those issues are still there. And if the President doesn't answer those in court, he's going to land up answering them in the court of public opinion, and public opinion's not very well versed, not very well disposed toward him.
You know how to quell public opinion and doubt? Vagueness.
I don't know that it really does quell it.
Just be vague. Be vague and just layer it over. Just the last thing, okay, because this sounds like an entire hurricane with regard to what's happening. There is actually a hurricane of a different sort, a Cyclone Freddy. And they're saying that this is going to be the longest running storm system ever.
Well, we think it already is. So it's the World Meteorological Organization. They're very excited about this. The previous record was something called Typhoon John back in 1994.
Yeah.
And these things apparently carry on. They move over warm water and they sort of regenerate and repower themselves. So Freddy is on the 6th or 7th iteration of powering up.
Yes.
And John was around for 31 days back in 94. So Freddy was spotted off Indonesia on the 6th of February. So we're, at about 33 days? So it's not official because they're very careful about these things.
Oh, yeah.
But unofficially, it is already the longest lasting storm we have on record.
Freddy, my word. Well, anybody affected by Freddy, of course, we are definitely sensitive to what this could mean to you. So our thoughts and our prayers are with you if you are in those areas. We are hearing 160 kilometer per hour winds coming across the likes of Zimbabwe and Zambia. So make sure you stay as safe as possible. But we will be back with another look at your newspaper headlines in the next couple of seconds. Of course, more entertainment for you right here in your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Here's Graham.
Oh, thank you so much, gentlemen, adding some credibility to the rest of the nonsense on the show. We absolutely love it. In other breaking news, Zoe is at Woolworths in the beauty department at the V&A Waterfront, and this is going to rock your foundation. In fact, it might give you a brand new foundation just in time for the weekend.
Thank you, G-Man. Well, listen, I love being let out the box, and what a morning to do that. I'm coming to you live from Woolworths in V&A Waterfront, and I'm here with Woolworths Beauty Academy Manager, Megan Africa, and we're here to talk about the W Beauty range, especially foundations. Megan, it's so great to have you here.
Thank you, Zoe.
I'm in your space.
Yes, we're happy to have you.
Thank you. Megan, when it comes to foundation shopping, I know that if you love makeup, it's the most exciting thing in the world. But for someone that looks at all these beautiful colors, it can be quite intimidating. Definitely. What are some things that consumers and customers need to look out for when shopping for foundation?
Thanks, Zoe. So yes, it is quite daunting, right? And it's like, where do I start? So there's just 3 key things for me. So firstly, it's important to always ensure that you're finding the right shade. I think shade is absolutely important. The natural thing really is about finding a shade that closest matches your jawline. So that's really the idea here. Anything that looks natural on the skin. So shade is key. The next thing also is texture. So as you know, we all have different skin tones, skin textures, skin types, etc. And we all want something from our foundation. So whether it's going to be something that's going to give us mattifying coverage, something that's going to be a bit more luminous, texture is important. And then lastly, the formula. So if you're looking for a cream foundation, a powder foundation, it really is important to look at what that formula is, what it's going to do for your skin. So whether you're oily or dry, very important to look at that.
Very important indeed. And I know W Beauty has a wide variety. What is it about the W Beauty range that's it's your favorite?
Well, I could talk about the W Beauty foundation for a long time, but our star of the show really is our Longwear Max foundation. This foundation really is going to give amazing coverage. It's quite natural on the skin. It's going to give beautiful luminosity. But what's really great is it has the blue light technology. So Zoe, if you don't know, blue light actually causes photo aging. We get blue light emitted from cell phones, our laptops, and you know, we're probably on our phones all the time. So that definitely is going to help prevent photo aging. And then further to that, we're quite excited. We actually have over 25 shades in this amazing formulation. Our customers absolutely love it. So for anyone looking to start, I definitely would advise our Longwear Max.
Oh, fantastic. Well, why don't we bring our W Beauty consultant in? We've got our model here because I think it's one thing now that we've sorted out how to find the correct foundation, what makes it so amazing, but how do we now apply it to our skin? Because I've seen some people where they've got this massive line and they forget to blend, and that happens.
No, definitely. So I'm going to call in Shanae now. Shanae is going to give us just a little quick demo. I'm going to talk her through it, and that way we'll be able to do our demo on a beautiful Kaylin.
Oh, fantastic. So when we start off with foundation, I'm assuming your skin priming is important.
Absolutely. So we've primed Kaylin's skin. We've got a mattifying primer, and we actually have a beautiful illuminating primer which can go onto the skin. We've used the illuminating primer on Kaylin today, so you can see that beautiful glow.
Gorgeous glow is there.
What we are now going to do is always ensure, Zoe, that as you mentioned, you can go in at the center of the face, and that way you're going to kind of just blend. Starting at the center gives the skin the most natural coverage. What people also do is that, you know, they try to put on too much, and that's when it becomes a bit cakey. So I always say less is definitely more. Then once you blend in, you'll see it all goes around the face. Beautiful, even application, not too much. If you need more, you can always apply a bit more, but the amazing tip is to go in with your concealer. The concealer goes just underneath the eye area or areas where you feel you need a bit more coverage. A nice tip is that the concealer gives it luminosity. It really gives it extra bit of coverage, especially if you've got a little bit of dark circles. Yes. So you'll see Shanae's going with a concealer. And you know, one thing about W Beauty is also, you know, we are cruelty-free, all vegan. It's just such an amazing product and all locally made, which is quite exciting.
That is super exciting.
Yeah.
I love this. I mean, she's got beautiful skin, but you are giving her that extra coverage that she needs. I love that you also showed us. One more thing. I know when you do your own makeup, some people prefer brushes, some people prefer sponges, other people prefer their fingers. Is there a correct way to apply?
Brushes are key. I always say you can't cook without your tools, right?
Okay.
So it's the same thing with makeup. You need to ensure we've got amazing brushes. We've got a dual-ended brush. We've got a foundation brush. So if anyone's looking to shop brushes, absolutely. We've got anything that basically suits anyone's needs. So from sponges to brushes, please use applicators. It helps.
The brush. Well, there we go. Well, listen, I'm enjoying being here in Woolworths at the V&A waterfront. We will be back shortly. We've got something very exciting to share with you. Megan's not going anywhere. I want to say thank you to our model as well as our W Beauty consultant, Shanae. But stay tuned to your Feel Good Breakfast show because we've got more exciting things to share with you.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. This is Expresso, and it's a beautiful day, isn't it? A fantastic day. However, we need to get through the headlines for you and unpack them properly with Roy Simpson, a news editor of note, a behemoth when it comes to international affairs, current affairs, and couch affairs.
I hope we're talking intellectual behemoth.
Yes, that's what you are. Don't worry. No. You're looking good. Anyway, so International Women's Day this week, and of course we had the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres saying that this year the focus should be on the erosion of women's rights. And I think that kind of lifted a few eyebrows. One question, is it a fair comment?
Ultimately, yes. He picked the example of Afghanistan,
yes,
where you've got the Taliban. They've erased women from public life. They've taken away all of the promises that they made when they took over. So that's what he focused on as a prime example. And of course, it's a prime example. You've also got Iran, where in the wake of the murder of Mahsa Amini by the morality police, you had these protests, which are about women's rights primarily, but people are being executed in response. And there's suspicion that the state's involved in mass poisoning of school children as a result of this. So that's quite out there in terms of a fight against women's rights. But I think what also isn't being mentioned that much is that it was in June of last year that the US Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, which is the right to abortion. So this is quite an invasion of women's control over their own bodies in America, which is firstly symbolically important, and secondly, you're talking about 160 million women who are now directly affected by that. So that's quite a step backwards in terms of women's rights. I think that particular example needs to be ventilated more. But yeah, I'm afraid with just those three examples in mind, he's quite right. Yeah.
Sure. And I'm glad that we can mention that as well. It's got to be top of mind and top of the list as well. But there are some other headlines that came to light. Just to move on, Roy. I know you're smiling for good reason here. So I just want to make sure I got this down. The inflatable decoys of military vehicles. Wait, I'm trying not to laugh. Okay, can you just?
No.
Can you just?
No, you can't.
So are there really inflatable decoys of military vehicles in Ukraine?
It is exactly what it sounds like.
Are you like?
Yep.
I just want to know, do they put the pump on, the motor pump? And zzz,
correct. And if you go on the website, it'll tell you it takes between 3 and 30 minutes to inflate. These are genuine.
Are we talking like tanks?
Yes, we're talking about tanks. So this is a Czech company in the Czech Republic, and of course there's a really strong bond between the Czech Republic and Ukraine. So what they've done recently, and apparently they've been making these things for quite some time. They make about 5 a month, I think it is. So it's quite a niche little thing. But what they've done recently for Ukraine, but not officially so, is, the Americans have made a big noise about providing these HIMARS tanks.
Yes.
So they've now manufactured a dummy HIMARS tank. And you inflate it, and it stands there, and it looks like the real thing.
Oh, there it is.
And there it is. And it goes, I mean, that doesn't look really realistic to you and I.
But in the heat of battle, that kind of looks like something.
It does, but it's more than just the heat of battle. It's the heat that one of those radar systems. Firstly, it comes up on radar, and secondly, if you do that sort of thermo reading, they actually designed it so that where the engines are, there's special strips of metal inside there that heat up to simulate an engine's heat pattern. So when you look at it through radar or through any of these, they look like the real thing.
I just hope that when this whole thing is blown over, this could be some use for those inflatables, in other applications as well. It would be very, very nice to have.
They're good for about
your backyard for the kids to jump on. My word, that's crazy though that they've gone to that level.
All we've got to do now is we've got to get them to make inflatable bombs, so they can have their fake tanks, their fake bombs, and they can just go and have an entire fake war.
So I'm just thinking about the hero that runs up to that tank with a little pin. Look what I did. Sure, crazy stuff. But I must just say, Roy, thank you very much for gathering all the headlines. We've covered so many different topics today, and it's always a pleasure having you in studio. So thank you for equipping us for the weekend. You know what's out there. Everything from UN Secretary and certain stipulations over there. We've got massive headlines and then inflatable military vehicles. You've heard it all here with Roy Simpson on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Well, there's nothing inflated about the talent we're about to introduce. In fact, the platform to foster talent that we're about to open up, the International Arts Talent Showcase, is back. And the timing couldn't be better. It is a platform that travels to all 9 provinces here in South Africa to identify, develop, and then provide placement, actually activate the talent. And we're talking about models, actors, singers, and dancers, all the stuff that I can't do and try to do every day on this show. And we're talking about international markets as well, because we are connected to a global village. And for the aspiring entertainers watching, auditions are coming up both in Cape Town and Johannesburg. So listen very closely to what these incredible people are going to say to you right now. And the first incredible human being is Elsabe Lawrence, the CEO of 33andMe Talent Agency, as well as producer of the International Arts Talent Showcase. She is joining us along with young Gino Lee. You're going to remember that name, my friend, because I have a feeling we're going to be hearing a lot more of it if your sound check was anything to go by. Elsabe, thank you. Thank you so much for doing this. On behalf of someone who's grown up in this industry from being a teenager, I was lucky enough to start as a teenager, to have so many opportunities open up, because that's what this industry gives you. But you need a mentor. You need a structure to help you get to that point. How excited are you to be doing this right now? Set the scene for us. Why is there such a buzz around what you guys are doing?
You know, for the past 13 years, 33andMe Talent Agency and the International Arts Talent Showcase has just been dominating in the industry with our educational development and talent placement platforms. We secure local and international career and casting opportunities, as well as $17.4 million scholarships for the youth and young adults in our nation. So it's been 13 years of just bridging the gap between Africa and the United States of America in terms of castings and education.
Now you got South Africans on billboards in Times Square.
Yes.
And that might be happening right now. We might be seeing Casper's face in Times Square. We might be seeing a tribute to AKA in Times Square. There is so much focus on South Africa right now. That being said, how do you get this right? Because you clearly have figured out the code here. And the talent is there, but it's not good enough. There's this notion in our industry that you win your career through luck.
No.
You know, that you get your lucky break and then you get a career, which means only 1 out of 1,000 of us, but that's not the case. There is an entire ecosystem building up towards that top talent sphere. So what motivates you? What drives you? How have you gotten this right?
You know, 26 years ago when I started in the industry as a model, I realized moving to Johannesburg that there's such a gap for talented individuals just to be granted the opportunity to gain international exposure. So our training and development program is exactly what was needed in the country. And as an actress and a model myself, I realized that all agents just want you to be perfect. So we focus on training the talent, but to understand that character and skill goes hand in hand together. So
what's your hook? What's your X factor? What makes you different?
yes, absolutely, you know, so it's not just the outside that's enough. It's the preparation, it's determination. It's the ultimate desire to want to be a leading industry professional. So you need to drive your dream into a living reality and connect with the right people in the industry that can take you to the next level.
And timing is everything. Just very quickly, we will have a chat to you, Gino, as you perform for us this morning, which I'm really excited about. And we'll keep all of those audition details and all of your information up throughout the show. Where's this going, buddy? Now that you've got that first step, that opportunity, in your heart, and you can give us the big dream here, where do you see this going now that this key has been turned?
Look, I've been working with Elsabe for over 10 years now, and we have such a strong relationship, and I must say that if not all of the opportunities that I've had in my life as a musician, as an artist, have stemmed from Elsabe and 33 and Me Talent Agency. She's a brilliant woman, it's a brilliant organization, and they deliver. You know, you have these artists that are doing great things in the industry. I mean, even just speaking for myself shortly, I was, a couple of years ago, I was awarded a scholarship to study in New York City, acting in New York City, and the next year I performed in LA as a musician, as an artist. So it's all about having that foundation of self-belief.
Yeah.
And then taking that and grabbing the opportunities.
Make it real, make it practical, make it real. And 100%. You don't understand what it means to other artists seeing that. We can only dream, but we can't imagine until we've actually seen it. And now kids can imagine their future like that. For so long, talent agencies seem to be about supporting the industry and not the artist. This is completely different, and I love it. If you want your chance to follow in his footsteps and see where you can take your talent with the right guidance, stick around. We're going to see some amazing performances this morning, and we'll keep those details up throughout the show. Of course, we've got auditions happening in Cape Town, the 11th of March, then Johannesburg on the 18th of March, but you can go and visit It's artafrica.co.za. I think that's right. It's artafrica.co.za to find out more on how you can enter and join this family. Do it now.
This is nothing. This is just who we are.
Alfredo! Vai. O Alfredo.
We date Italian.
So, Forex.
We drive Italian. Living la dolce vita. And now you can see. That's what it is. Gahle gahle. We're Italian.
Perfect.
That's why I was pizza. I'm Italian. And we always eat Italian. Every day. Fetis and mornings. Bravo to you.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. We promised you talent, and we have got it. Gino has very kindly offered to inspire us all. Now, we love the fact that we are part of your becoming. I say that all the time, but there is something magical happening right now, and you're one of those that has the opportunity to shine. So what are you going to perform for us this morning to make that statement, brother?
Today I'll be singing an original song. It's called Only Get Better.
And it can only get better, not 100%. Just for you, but for all of you. Enjoy.
You can hold my hand if you want to, and I can break free if you ask me to. Tell me everything you wish that you could hide. Deep down I know that we'll be alright, 'cause things can only get better, like worn out jeans and really bad weather. Make time for me, shine for me, 'cause things can only get better. So tell me you'll stay, don't leave me this way, 'cause things can only so get tell better. Me you'll stay. jump, yeah, I'll jump too. I hope that I can be the one that makes it right, so I can hold you for the rest of my life. Cause things can only get better, like worn out jeans and really bad weather. Make time for me, shine for me, cause things can only get better. So tell me you'll stay. Don't leave me this way. So tell me you'll stay. Tell me you'll stay now, baby. It will all be okay, cause things can only get better. Oh, yeah. Things can only get better. Hey. Na 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 na. Things can only get better. So tell me you'll stay. Don't leave me this way. So tell me you'll stay. Tell me you'll stay now, baby. It will all be okay, 'cause things can only get better. You can hold my hand if you want to, and I can break free if you ask me to.
Thank you. I'm asking you, my friend, I am asking you to break free and don't ever stop.
Yeah.
Dude, you know, if I can find rhythm in a song, then it's something special.
Yeah, I saw you vibing
It's
over
a
there. I saw you
mantra, bro.
vibing.
You have no idea. Thank you so much for setting the scene. And I know that you've put in the hard yards to get to this point, so I hope you can, just for a second, enjoy these milestones as you hit them, but don't stop pushing, bro. I have a feeling we're going to see you on a massive stage very, very soon.
Appreciate it.
And that's how this show works, man. We've seen it happen before, and I can see that thing in you. So all the best of luck. Keep fighting the fights for your fellow colleagues. We're all part of one team in this industry, so hopefully that inspired you. We got more movement, we got more dance, we got more rhythm coming your way. But first, we do actually have a job to do, which is get into those news headlines, then I'll touch on the sport.
Happy to do the job. So let's start with national news ratings agency S&P has downgraded its outlook on South Africa to stable from positive, citing the intense rolling blackouts and other infrastructure constraints. The agency says also worrying is the slow implementation of structural reforms and delays in dealing with governance and performance of state-owned enterprises. It says contingent liabilities from state-owned enterprises pose continued downside risks to the country's fiscal and debt position. Meanwhile, the electricity crisis continues to cause mayhem in the local economy. On many fronts, S&P says load-shedding challenges are weighing on growth. Now, President Cyril Ramaphosa says the government will not accept the violent nature of the National Education, Health and Allied Workers Union NAHAWU strike at various health facilities. He was responding to a question from IFP Chief Whip Naren Singh during his oral reply session in Parliament. Singh wanted to know how government would ensure the police are brought on board to protect the rights of citizens. There have been reports of intimidation and deaths that occurred as a result of the strike. Now, on to international news. At least 9 people have died in a new wave of strikes on Ukraine in Russia. They have used, of course, hypersonic missiles for this. The latest barrage was the most severe to hit Ukraine in weeks. Now, the attack cut Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant, Europe's largest, from the grid, although power was later restored. Now, the Ukrainian military claimed it had shot down 34 cruise missiles and 4 Iranian-made Shahed drones as well. Now, President Vladimir Putin has highlighted Russia's investment in ballistic hypersonic missiles, which can travel at more than 5 times the speed of sound. 6 people have been confirmed dead after a bus and a train collided in the Nigerian city of Lagos. 71 people were injured, 29 of them critically. The accident happened yesterday morning during rush hour, and both vehicles were carrying commuters. The bus was taking civil servants to work, and the train was shuttling commuters from the outskirts of Lagos into the city. The governor of Lagos has declared 3 days of mourning and a half-work day. Flags will also fly at half-mast. Now, South Africa is this year part of the much-anticipated Eurovision Song Contest, in that for the first time ever, the rest of the world also has a vote apart from 37 participating countries, which have with a jury and, of course, a televote as well. Now, bad news, though, if you haven't acquired tickets, tickets are for the famous song contest in Liverpool in May. They are sold out, and they sold in 36 minutes on Tuesday, leaving thousands of fans disappointed. Now, with some good news, you may still be able to obtain one on the black market for around a small fee of £9,000. Just under 200,000 Rand. The standard ticket price ranged from £30 to £380, and this will be the first time the UK has hosted the contest for 25 years, and it's doing so on behalf of 2022 winners Ukraine. Recently, it was announced that 3,000 tickets would be distributed to Ukrainians living in the UK through a ticket ballot. Some 160 million people around the world are expected to watch the song contest on TV. I'm saying a bit of positivity and a little song amongst the negativity in this world. Now, that wraps up news for now. Another update in 1 hour. Sporting action now. Here's G.
Don't worry, my friend, I've refilled the pitcher of positivity for you. And Gerald Coetzee was the man who helped us do it. He claimed 3 wickets to help the Proteas take the advantage after day 2 of the second test against the West Indies in what has proved to be a pretty engrossing series so far. The young paceman took 3 for 41 in just 14 overs, his best return in the 3 innings he's bowled for the country at the highest level so far. And that helped to dismiss the tourists for 251 in reply to the host's first innings of 320. Man of the moment, former Windies captain Jason Holder showed some heart. He was the mainstay of their innings, as he often so often has to be, ending on 81 not out. South Africa then faced 3 overs later on the day to reach the close on 4 for none, an overall lead of 73 going back into today's play. Some amazing football on offer last night. Arsenal and Sporting Lisbon could not be divided in a very entertaining 2-2 draw in their Europa League last 16 first leg clash. It was Hiremasa Morito's own goal that sent the Premier League leaders back to London with even honours. That was after Gonzalo Inacio and Paulinho's goals helped Sporting recover from William Saliba's opener. And elsewhere, Jose Mourinho back at his best. His Roma earned a comfortable 2-0 win at home against Real Sociedad to put 1 foot into the quarterfinals. And then Man United, elsewhere, they bounced back from that 7-0 loss over the weekend. I promised, I know I said it was the last time I was going to say it. 7-0 loss over the weekend, that's the last time I'm going to say it. But they were able to bounce back and beat Real Betis 4-1, thanks to goals from Rashford, Anthony, Bruno, and Weghorst, who, yes, were all playing in that 7-0 loss last weekend. Okay, no, that's done, it's done. Now on to very positive news for the Sharks. From a local rugby perspective, the Sharks have now fended off interest from the Stormers by re-signing Springbok utility back and unbelievable talent Apelele Fassi. The Sharks announced yesterday that Fassi has signed a new multi-year deal to keep plying his trade down in Durbs. This puts to bed reports that Fassi could move to the Sharks' coastal rivals, the Stormers. In fact, Afrikaans newspaper Rapport reported last month that the URC champions were very eager to lure Fassi to Cape Town. Maybe money was the deciding factor. We cannot wait to dig a little bit deeper. But now we round off with another very positive story from a South African perspective. Dylan Mostert's on fire, and his fire in recent form continued on day 1 of the magical Kenya Open as he fired an opening round 64 to share the lead with John Catlin. The 24-year-old South African won his maiden European Challenge Tour title at the Nelson Mandela Bay Championship just 2 weeks ago, and impressed again, picking up 5 shots on that front 9 before making 3 more gains after the turn to finish on 7 under par. Keep on firing, young man. That's where we leave our sport for this hour. The roads should be waking up. Let's get Carlito to get you to work safely.
Let's do just that. Now, starting in Germiston in Johannesburg, if you're still heading to work, there has been a multi-vehicle accident on the N3 that's northbound after Van Bieden, and the left lane has been obstructed. You can expect heavy delays in that area. Let's stay in Joburg, Edenvale. There is a stationary vehicle on the N3 northbound after Linksfield Road. The left lane is closed, and there is slow-moving traffic in that area, so just manage that time to work. Tell the boss a little early as we wrap up with traffic and give you some weather. Many South Africans with relations and other connections in the UK will be interested to know that the first heavy snow in London since December fell on Wednesday, and forecasters warned for another storm that would bring heavy snow to the northern UK and Ireland. Dozens of flights have been delayed in the south of England amid snowfall across the nation, following the coldest night of the year so far. The Met Office said temperatures at Kinbrace in the Highlands dropped to this year's low of minus 15.4 degrees Celsius overnight into Wednesday. And for parts of the United Kingdom, the wintry weather represented the coldest air of the season thus far. Despite spring's imminent arrival in just 2 weeks, it also delivered snow to places that typically receive only a small amount in March, including London. Londoners awoke to a light coating of snow on Wednesday morning, the first since December 11. Now for 7 a.m. update, here are a few of the sunrise views to give you some more positivity this morning. Len Smith started you off dropping off his son at school on the M5, sharing a view of that yellow horizon, starting a new day. And then Poppy Swart taking a stroll on the beach, embracing all the phenomenal views from the south coast, and obviously just had to share. And then Pam sent in a picture-perfect shot from green trees to more pink shades beaming up the sky in Pietermaritzburg. And last up, we have John from Hijacker standing on top of the hill, capturing a beautiful and stunning view overlooking the side of the ocean. And how soothing is it to see all of your sunrise views. Thanks for yours. And you can send yours over 063-408-8863. Let's take a peek at your temperatures for the day, give you an idea of what to wear as you leave home. Now, Polokwane is 16 as we speak, 29 this afternoon. Bombela, you'll be 19, rising to 31. Pretoria, you've got 16 on the cards, but you go up to a nice, very, very warm 33 degrees Celsius. Johannesburg, 14, up to 31 degrees. Now, Maya King, 17 to 33. Klerksdorp, 33 is a max for you too. Kimberley, 33, shining bright like a diamond as always. And then Bloemfontein, 11 to 31 degrees Celsius. Richards Bay, you've got some thunder expected, around a 41% chance, 22 to 30 for you. Pietermaritzburg, 18 to 29, also some thunder expected in your region. Durban, partly cloudy, 23 to 29. Naturally, some good humidity there too. Mthatha, 16 up to 32 for you. And then East London, 20 to 29. Craddock, you've got 35 as a maximum, so please hydrate and stay out of the sun as far as you can. Gqeberha, you've got 18 to 28 today, and then George, 15 up to 25. Now, Cape Town, 15 is your minimum to a high of 20. Worcester, 10 to 27. Sutherland, 7 to 28. And then Uppington showing off for the max temp as always. 15 is how you wake up. 39 degrees Celsius is your maximum today. And that's it for your weather news and sunrise views. Send yours 063-408-8863 as we continue your sunny Feel Good Breakfast Show.
What's love got to do with it? A lot of people are asking that question right now. We shall find out. JP Sebastian comes to grips with this amazing new rom-com. It comes from a powerhouse in terms of the comedic and romantic chops, and he's going to get to grips with that beautiful love story around arranged marriage. And of course, Zozo is going to be back in the beauty room at the Woolworths and the V&A waterfront. So maybe you want to check that out. Then Simba, all of the mocktails that we see, that the light touches, we shall drink this morning. But Simba is here. He is a mixologist, and he is amazing. Laz is doing his version of a mixology here. He's our soundie. He's getting set up. In fact, no other man is allowed to lay hands on me like Laz is allowed to lay hands on me. Thank you, Wood. We'll see you in just a moment. We have got an amazing hour on the way. Stick around. beautiful. Look at it. Sorry, we're just loving our mustard this morning. Hey? Hey? I feel it, man.
Yeah, don't you love that? I love that too.
Absolutely love it. Style on point. So let's add a movie that is going to take this weekend and turn it into a romantic journey.
Yes.
Because that's what we need.
So JP, he seemed to find a soft spot for today's release. What's love got to do with it?
What's love got to do with anything? We continue his series of interviews now with the amazing cast and crew. And this time, he is going to be sitting down with the musical team that are weaving the soundscape of worlds colliding in love.
You're right. So here he is with composer Nitin Sawhney, whose works include Mowgli as well as The Human Planet. That's series 2. So DJ producer Naughty Boy as well, whose previous collaborators include Dua Lipa, Ed Sheeran, and the one and only Beyonce. This is big.
So I've got here Nitin Sawhney and Naughty Boy from the musical aspect of What's Love Got to Do With It. Firstly, I've got to say congratulations, guys. As you know, half of movie making is the soundtrack. And for this movie to feel as naturalistic as it does, as a rom-com, it's nothing feels canned or anything. I think that a lot of that is owed to the work that you guys did.
Cool. Thank you.
Wow.
It's very kind of you.
And then also, I must say, congrats to Naughty Boy. This is your first foray into making for film.
Yes, it's first time. Don't think it's going to be the last, but I'm glad I did it with Nitin. Yeah, we can do it again.
Did it feel like a totally different ball game from what you usually do?
100%. I think when you're making music visually, the last time I did that before this film was in my GCSE exam when it was to a painting. But I think you just have to be a bit more aware when you're making music for film or music for visual, because you can't be as selfish as you are when you're just producing for the radio, where this is the sound, this is how it's supposed to be. You have to you have to bring in a lot of other important opinions and the characters as well. So I've learned a lot by being part of this with Nitin.
Mm-hmm. And for your guys' production process, is it the case that Director Kapoor painted the picture for you beforehand, or that you got to work in post-production on this movie?
I mean, it was a constant symbiotic process. I mean, like, you know, we were constantly bouncing ideas off Shekhar, but also Jemima was quite closely involved. We were all talking through, because I think it couldn't really be anyone's single vision. I think it had to be a collaborative process. It had to be about finding a universe, because it was also a coming together of worlds. And I think that had to happen behind the scenes as well as in front of the camera. So I think, you know, in lots of ways, it was about evolving that language, and that needed everyone to kind of really explore what it meant to find ourselves on the same page.
There's so much breadth to everything that you guys want to cover. And despite that, every box, every marker is hit like in a way that feels like this wasn't undertreated. This aspect of culture, this aspect of great stuff, really thought-provoking. Now, speaking of those sort of like, you know, things that people can hit and miss in some ways, I got to admit that going into What's Love Got to Do With It, and with no info on who does what and who is working on what, I did clench up at one point where I was like, oh, great, here comes the Orientalism in the soundtrack. You know, like the flutes doing the, ooh, we're in Lahore now, or whatever. So Nitin, as a composer, what are your rules? What are your frameworks for how you build this thing from the ground up? And what are your influences in making
First of all, when to respond to that, what you also have with when the flute does come in, you know, with the Bansuri, you have one of the world's greatest Bansuri players with Ashwin Srinivasan, who's in my band, who's an incredible artist, and, you know, who works closely with A.R. Rahman, who's an incredible. So in terms of Orientalism, you know, this isn't the Edward Said kind of version of things. This was, you know, this is very much about authenticity. So I mean, for example, with Rag Desh, which is what Ashwin's playing in some of the wedding scenes, that's very important to me. It's a rag that I used in my own work, and I think what we were trying to do was really find authenticity in the way we built things up. I mean, you know, we have the Western strings, but you know, when we work together on the song, you know, we're bringing together some incredible artists. Kanika Kapoor, you also have you've also got Lily James, who appears on the latest version of the song. But then you've got an iteration with Joy Crooks, and Joy Crooks is doing really well. She was Mercury nominated this year. She's an amazing artist, and someone
and Billy Khan.
Yeah, and Billy Khan, who's rapping. You know, so my whole thing is that there's a language in this that I do think is unique in so many different ways, and it's rooted quite authentically in the experiences of the people who all have, you know, who've all at some point in their lives had to navigate and negotiate their lives between two worlds. And I think that's the case with all of us. So I think the thing about this film that is unique is how clear the experiences of the people involved in the making of it, because that's what you really get, is a genuine sense of two worlds coming together.
It was refreshing as well.
Yes.
Even as someone who's a non-Muslim, to see Muslim life portrayed humanely as it was, great job also from yourselves as the people behind the soundscape of.
Yeah, and also just before we finish, it's like everyone's gets normalized in this film. There's no standout, oh, there's something wrong here, or there's something not right there. It's like everyone's basically doing the same thing, striving for the same thing. We just sometimes look a bit different, but you know.
That's a great word, you see, because normalization is used a lot in the political world and in other ways in the media, even to dehumanize people. What's good is that humanization, you know, understanding people as human beings is what's normalized in this film. And I think that's why it works as a kind of counterculture to what's out there, you know, because it as a film. And I think that's what's exciting about it. I mean, Naughty Boy actually called it revolutionary recently, which sounds like a strong word for something that is essentially a rom-com, but at the same time, what it stands for and what it represents and what it says is definitely radical.
And like I said right at the top, like you guys swing and surprisingly you don't miss, even though you're hitting all of those really difficult subjects. So I've got to say, great job. This is fantastic.
Thank you. Very kind of you. Yeah, cheers. Appreciate that a lot.
It was great. Thank you very much.
Nice one. Thanks.
Joey works them, eh? You can see the smoke coming out of his guest's ears. I don't think there is a better movie critic in the world right now, to be honest. Agreed. Well done, son. And the movie looks amazing and sounds amazing, clearly, as well.
Well done to JP. Honestly, we really love that. And also, I don't know who's doing his makeup. That guy is flawless.
Flawless.
Yeah.
Absolutely flawless.
So we all want that flawless foundation, of course. We do want that. But I know JP has it, but then Zoe is also out and about, out of the box, as she says, at the W Beauty department at the Vienna Waterfront to find out exactly how to achieve that JP glow.
I see what you did there.
You're welcome.
Thank you, gentlemen. Well, I'm still coming to you live from the V&A Waterfront Woolworths. We're in the beauty department, and I'm here with Megan. We are still talking all things beauty. Megan, earlier you mentioned that there are a beautiful range of foundations available from W Beauty, but there are also other brands in the store. So talk to me which other brands we can find in Woolworths.
Yeah, Zoe, so you're right. You know, at Woolies, we are so proud to have partnered with amazing brands. If anyone's looking for brands, foundations, we absolutely can help. So we've got brands like Bobbi Brown, we've got Clinique, we've got Estee Lauder, we've got Clarins, so you've got the Clarins over there. We also have Stila and Lancome. And what really is amazing about these brands, you know, as with any, you know, beautiful brand house, they offer beautiful product, they offer different shade ranges, textures. So again, if anyone's looking for foundation, we definitely have a variety to offer.
A little something for everyone.
Absolutely.
But earlier you hinted at something really, really special, and we are standing here right now. Tell me about the latest brand to be part of the Woolworths umbrella.
So Zoe, we're quite proud about the partnership that we have with Dolce & Gabbana. So as you know, the iconic fragrances was, you know, always part of the Woolies beauty home, except now we've launched the beautiful Dolce & Gabbana skin color. So we've got the beautiful makeup, we've got amazing products on color. So anything from lipsticks to powders and bronzers, it's absolutely stunning.
I'm obsessed with this packaging. Look at this. It's so opulent. It is so dramatic, and that is so Dolce & Gabbana.
Very true. I mean, how iconic. I mean, wouldn't you want to pop one of these out of your handbag?
Yes, yes, please. I mean, look at these lipsticks. I'm here for the packaging. I'm sold on the packaging already.
And not only is the packaging amazing, the formulations are really, really, you know, next to nothing. They are beautiful. The delivery, just the formulas are very exciting.
You know what? This gets me so excited. Woolworths is world class, bringing all these international brands under one hub and making your life so convenient. Now, earlier we did the foundation. You showed us exactly how to make sure that we can apply, select the correct foundation. Now that our model has her foundation on, what is the next step to really get yourself that beautiful finished look?
So no foundation look is complete without a little hint of color. So to add a pop of color, Nasli will be applying a little bit of bronzer. So you'll see she's going to go in there to just add a little bronzer to Kaylin's face. So really warming up the face, giving a little bit of definition, adding a little bit of color. And I mean, again, if you look at that palette, just absolutely stunning.
I mean, it is a beautiful palette.
Yes. So just going to go around the contours of the face there, Zoe. So we want to focus on the outer contours. Really, Kaylin, give us a smile there. We'll find some beautiful definition. The cheekbones. So yes, that is going to give that beautiful definition, but add that warmth and just give that subtle sort of hint of color and shape to the face.
And of course, my favorite is also some lipstick, some color.
Cannot
Pop
leave,
of color.
yes, without trying the absolutely amazing Dolce & Gabbana lipstick. So Naz is going to be applying the amazing liquid lipstick. The shade that we've chosen today for Kaylin is a beautiful, natural hint of nude. So really going to go on there, just to add a beautiful natural pop of color. For those of you who are a bit more daring, we've got bright shades. So if anyone's looking, we've got bright pinks, really amazing shades. But this is just a beautiful, you'll see they're quite subtle on the lips, not going to dry the lip out, but just giving a beautiful luxe velvety sort of finish.
You know what I always find so funny? Like, I love this nude you've put on Kaylin, but I have probably about 10 different shades of nude, and every nude is different. And then you'll get a friend be like, why do you have so many of the same lipsticks? I'm like, no, these are different nudes. This is a warm tone, this is a cold. There really is a difference. I don't think there's a limit to how many lipsticks you can have.
You're right. I always laugh about it because ask anyone to look at it, they'll say it's all the same, but actually you're right. It's not.
It is different. It is different. Megan, thank you for welcoming me into the V&A waterfront at Woolworths. It's been incredible to see the beautiful products that is available at Woolies. Now, you can shop these products in store. You can shop it online as well as the Woolies app. I love that we got to unpack the W Beauty range, look at the foundations, and of course see the international brands that's also all within the Woolies umbrella. All the best of luck for the rest of your day.
Thank you so much. If anyone's looking for foundation, please pop into Woolies. Our consultants are more than happy to help you. We have a major foundation drive at the moment, so if you're ready and able, please pop in and we'd be happy to welcome them.
Oh, fantastic. Well, there you have it. You can shop all of these incredible products online, in-store, as well as the Woolies app.
Love is Love is a new reality TV series which will be broadcast on SABC2, and we're looking for contestants. You stand a chance of being featured on the show and of finding your love match. You can enter online on our website loveislove.tv, on Instagram at loveislove_ZA, or via Facebook at loveislove.tv. T's and C's apply and can be found on loveislove.tv. Entries close 31st March this year.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beauties. Let's talk a little sport. Let's do what I'm actually paid to do. The penultimate weekend of the Six Nations, with Ireland leading the standings on 15 points from their 3 matches so far. Of course, they take on a bit of a dark horse this year, Scotland, on Sunday, with England squaring off against France, and then Italy there to do their hoodoo against Wales tomorrow. Here to chat about the weekend's action is Good Hope FM sports anchor and one of many Lorenzos in the family, Lorenzo Dadis. You're our favorite, Lorenzo.
Am I the favorite
you
one?
You are.
Ah,
okay, yeah,
stuff,
even
man.
the fans are saying it, man. This has been an interesting
Yeah.
Six Nations. It's been a sick Six Nations. I seldom buy into the drama of the Northern Hemisphere rugby because we've just been separated for too long. But boy, have we enjoyed coming to grips with that platform. And this is the pinnacle of that platform. Put it into context for us, because I'm struggling to wrap my head around Scotland this year. We didn't have much hope for them at the beginning of this tournament, and they have proven that they've got the mettle up against a very different prospect. How do you see this one playing out against
Sure, it's
Ireland?
going to be tough though. It's going to be tough for this weekend because they're up against a very strong Irish team.
Possibly the best team.
Yeah,
in the
possibly the best. No, they are the best team in the world. Let's give it to them. They're the number one team in the world.
As we head to a World Cup, there's no number one team in the world.
That's one of those things in the year. You know, Farrell, as the coach at the moment, he's doing quite well. He's getting a lot of his stalwarts back. His number ones, Ringrose. Sexton is also back in the team as well. Some positional, switches there where guys are going back to their core positions that they love. But the Scottish team, they've got pride. They're playing with so much flair. And we need to give it to Stuart Hogg as well. 100th Test cap this weekend.
Wow.
It's a milestone.
There could be something just in that.
Yes, that alone. And they're playing at Murraysfield. So it's going to be a tough one. But we can't take it away from the Irish. They could just pull one back in the last few minutes if they don't run away with the game in the first half.
Okay, and they've proven that they can win ugly and they can win beautifully, which is a scary prospect, yeah?
The problem is that they've got the help of certain linesmen as well and certain television refs. We saw what happened before, guys being totally out and yet tries still being awarded.
It can happen, Bru. There is a human element still. We haven't quite got to VAR yet.
Rugby.
Please, Lord, please.
Yeah.
Let's move to a completely different prospect again when we look at those sub-narratives here, England, France. I'm loving this French. I'm loving the youth in both the Italian and the French sides because there's this sense of belief. They're not carrying too much of the baggage with them, whereas it kind of feels like England have got a bit of baggage.
Yeah, they do.
They're still carrying that briefcase from last
Eddie
World
Jones.
Cup. And
it's like Eddie and everyone's still in there going forward.
That being said, a match is still a match. In the context of this journey, anything can happen. How do you see this one playing out? They've both had some success.
Yeah, so both weeks, firstly, the England coaches had to make some heavy decisions, bringing Marcus back and dropping Farrell to the bench, giving the captaincy to a different player. We've also got a South African former Western Province player that's playing this weekend as well, David Ribbons.
Wow.
So lots there. And then we need to know that channel between England and France, there's always been that little war between them, and now they've taken it to the rugby field. So lots to play for there. It's a World Cup year. France is hosting the World Cup. England wants to take it. So yeah, lots of pressure on both of those teams again.
And equally so, lots of pressure on Wales, on the Gatland saga. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to have an honest conversation over a beer with him about coming back into that position and how he's feeling about it now. But kudos to him for being brave enough to step up when his nation needed him. Up against an Italian side that I want to say are underperforming, but they've punched above their weight class, I feel. They're a good side. What's in it for them this weekend? What are the stakes for the two teams that don't really have an agenda?
That can be like that. Very youthful Italian team. Love that. Problem that we have with Wales at the moment, financial woes with all 4 of their provinces. Players are losing so much money, they divided at the moment in the camp. Right? We saw what happened with England and Wales. That game almost
didn't happen.
Didn't happen at all. So Gatland has to come in and play dad. He's got 2 groups of players that want to be there and don't want to be there. But then we've also got something that's hovering above Wales at the moment. Wooden spoon for the first time in 20 years. They are last at the moment. Italy only has 1 point.
Yeah.
But I feel the Italians are going to take it this weekend.
Yeah, and I hope they can convert that. And again, I say kudos for Gatland for taking that on, because maybe that's what Wales need right now in their own rugby journey. It's all made for a brilliant tournament.
It does. Penultimate weekend, and everything unravels this weekend. Whoever wins with the Irish and Scotland game could then take the title.
That's one hand,
Yeah, they've got one hand on the title. On the other hand, whoever loses is going to have a very bad year when it comes to Wales or Italy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all this, again, in the context of a World Cup just around the corner. I love the fact that the South African players should be nice and rested. That's all I'm saying, but we love it. Enjoy all of the rugby this weekend. Soak it up locally and abroad. Buddy, go and tell the other Lorenzos we don't need them.
Yeah,
we don't need
definitely
anymore.
not.
We've got our Lorenzo. And he's like, that is.
It's an absolutely amazing day here in Expresso with so many talents out here. They're unbelievable. Sorry, I had to do that for you with Rugby Boys. However, there is an amazing international arts talent showcase happening. Hotel Verde, it's going to happen tomorrow, 11 March, if you want to do your thing. And that'll be on the 18th of March as well in Johannesburg, so make sure you get there. But Peter John Reid.
Yes, sir.
Did you just call me sir? Yo, my back actually started pulling stuff now. I felt like a bali. However, but look here, Peter John, you're a dancer.
Yes, sir.
You have a platform on national television to showcase your talent. And this is what this showcase is about. You know, people like you getting found, getting discovered. You are now having access to be part of a showcase. So what is this doing for you, a platform like this?
Firstly, I want to say thank you so much for having me. It's honestly a blessed day today. I just want to say thank you to LCB and the 33andMe agency for making all this possible.
Nice.
The platform is important for me because through her, I've been doing what I'm doing and where I am right now because she's been opening doors. And I mean, throughout South Africa, all the artists, she makes it a job and a duty to support them, to be there for them. And since I started with her, I've been growing. Her motivation has been pushing me to do my best. And it's very important because she's just a light in a lot of people's lives.
Man, that is fantastic. And this is what I love to feel, is that people like you now, you can have a next step, a next level. You know, you can go and do a showcase somewhere. There's somebody who's watching, who's planning something, and they can actually have access to you because of this platform. And I think that's the most important thing. So, Peter John Reid, I think it's important for us to also see what you can do. You know?
Yes, sir.
It's nice to talk about it, but I want to see something. You ready?
I'm ready.
Show me something.
Rusty.
Give me the wub. Give me the wub.
You've gone and stuck down.
Now I'm in the limelight cause I roll.
Break your neck.
Fire when the strobe hits you. Bet you're looking for something new. I feel the hate with you staring up across the room. I dare you play your cards, boy, you bet I'm a trendsetter too.
That's it, Brian? Yes.
Bet you're looking for something new. Staring up across the room. Bet I'm a trendsetter too.
Oh my gosh! Peter John Reed, oh my God, I feel like I wound you up and you don't want to stop. This is great. I have been told by the producers of this show that we need to play the music once again, because sometimes they coax me into doing this. They're doing it again.
It's The Crush. Unlock your 100% TV show. Catch all the excitement as we unlock Crush fans' full potential to live their dreams. Watch the show on SABC2 starting on the 1st of February every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Plus, you stand a chance to win your share of thousands of prizes. Simply buy any Crush and follow the pack for entry details. Crush, 100% goodness.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Wow, with that music, this might be the most important movie we've ever done. Okay, so we put Carl back on charge so he can do another 2.5 minutes of dance just now. And we're going to focus on date night tonight.
Yeah, I love date night, okay? What's love got to do with it?
Really?
I mean, that's the name of the movie, actually. Lily James and Shazad Latif are both trying to make sense of romance in the age of right swipes and matrimonial rights.
And brilliant screenwriter Jemima Khan lends part of her own life story to the scripting of this particular one, from her experience as a journalist from the UK to Pakistan as editor-at-large for Vanity Fair to The Independent. She has the narrative, and it plays out in this movie, and she joins JP right now to dig a little deeper.
What's love got to do with it? There are dimensions, obviously, for you as the writer of this story that are personal, that are autobiographical in a sense. But you challenge this, or you wrestle with this really large topic of arranged marriage, or as it's referred to at times in your own movie as assisted marriage. Which comes first? Like writing, how do you even start the story? Is it that subject that you wanted to like have your eye on, or your personal story? Where did it all begin?
Well, firstly, 3,000 years ago. I mean, it took so long. And it's definitely kind of morphed over time. But I knew that I wanted to write something about what was inspired by my time in Pakistan, where I went to when I was 20 and I came back when I was 30. So I kind of definitely felt like I sort of grew up there. And I was interested, I was a journalist before I started making TV and film. And I'd had both first-hand experience of seeing arranged marriages in action, long-term, and as they were being arranged in Pakistan, because my ex-husband's family is pretty conservative, and our marriage was the only non-arranged marriage ever in the history of his family. Jeez. And so I went there with a sort of fixed idea that it was some kind of outdated premise that had no place in the modern world, and all of those ideas, and then having seen what were very happy and successful arranged marriages up close, I mean, with people that I lived with. So it wasn't like I just saw them for dinner. I lived with these couples who'd had arranged marriages. And so I had those preconceptions really challenged. And that then kind of informed my kind of life experience thereafter. So when I came back to the UK, and my friends were at the point where they wanted to kind of get married and have kids, or certainly have kids and settle down, that we had this conversation, who would your parents have chosen for you? Like who if you had sane, functional parents who could agree with each other, who would they have chosen for you, and would that have worked? And so I guess that's where the sort of idea for the script came from. But I mean, as I said, as I worked through the Jurassic era to the present day, it finally turned into what is about to appear on our screens.
And I want to tell everyone who's watching, especially for a rom-com, people try to touch all sorts of bases, hit all sorts of marks and whatever, and you might have you've bitten off more than you can chew and whatever. But I was really impressed with how all the topics you sort of cover, it never felt undertreated. So aside from something like arranged marriage, you mainly portraying a Muslim family life, which, even as an irreligious person myself, just ideologically, I thought it was really beautiful, just very touching. But so aside from that topic, what other topics are you tackling in What's Love Got to Do With It?
I think it's about family and family love as much as it is about romantic love. We've already discussed that it's kind of, it's about the different types of love. So from romantic to companionate love. And you're right, I think that it is also about a normal Muslim family. There were certain things that when I was in Pakistan that my friends there would get really annoyed by. So they get annoyed by how Pakistan and Pakistanis were often portrayed on screen in the West, often as backwards or as terrorists or as, fanatics. And that, there weren't, so that was one thing. Also how arranged marriage was often depicted. And, I have this Pakistani British British friend of Pakistani descent here who said that she was always really, really embarrassed to say that her parents had had an arranged marriage and that they'd met on the wedding day, and that having watched this film, she was so lovely, and she said, I was so ashamed that I even got married in like a white wedding dress, and I'm going to do my vows. I'm going to take my vows again. I'm going to do it as a proper Pakistani Muslim celebration, even though she's been married for 20 years.
Nikah, if I have that correct.
It's gonna do, yeah, the nikah is the actual legal marriage, but the fun bit is the shadi and the walima and all of that. So anyway, she was going to do it again. So that was really, really nice to hear.
Just the array of topics that you all those bases that you touched. It's very thought provoking what you gave. Like I said, nothing felt undertreated, nothing felt too throwaway or anything like that. And if people are just treating it like a date night movie, they're going to be sorely disappointed that they're going to have to come out going, wow, I'm using my brain. I have to like actually have conversation with my significant other over dinner afterwards. It's great stuff. And it takes an interesting perspective on whether love is the be all and end all and what the nature of love, like you said, whether familial, et cetera, and honesty is all about. It was great. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Oh, man. As interviewers, you always look for that look on the person that you've been talking to's face when it's done. And you can see how much everyone attached to that property has loved going through this journey with JP. So well done, buddy. As always, absolutely amazing. If you've got a date night coming up, I think you know how you need to spend it. But we've got a weekend coming up, and I think I know how we need to spend it.
Every iconic romantic movie has a scene. It involves cocktails and pretty ones. Somebody shaking and looking at their significant other saying, can I make you something lovely? In the Expresso kitchen, we have somebody who invented that scene. A Friday mocktail masterclass by one person who believes that cocktails are the key to love. Tropical mocktails are fantastic. And here's a mixologist that you're gonna love. His name is Simba. And I'm telling you, Simba, I almost feel like I need to go, Nancy cocktails, bye-bye.
That's a new one.
Thank you. I just had to change it up.
Absolutely new one.
Hey, Simba.
All right.
I am very, very happy to have you. A mixologist like this. We're going to do some amazing tropical things, and I'm looking forward to this one. I love a good mocktail.
Yeah.
You know, I love a good mixture. So how do we get this thing started, and what's the inspiration behind what you put together?
So with this one in with a little bit of inspiration going into the weekend, nice and sunny.
Okay.
We're going in a little bit on the tropical vibe, so a tiki-style drink, but a nice and easy build-up, and with the tropical pineapple. So I will start off by asking you to cut some wedges for me on that.
You want wedges?
Wedges.
No problem. Got
so I will need about 6 out of that.
6 out of that?
Yeah,
that's
6 out of that one.
That's a challenge,
That's
eh?
a challenge. So we'll start off right now.
It is a challenge.
Sure thing.
6 out of this?
6 out of that.
Okay.
So.
And then you need wedges, huh?
I need wedges. Nice and easy. Thank you. Ah, you got that already. I see. You do this at home every now and again.
This is what I do at home.
So
but I'll try my best to get you some wedges. Now, what else? What are you going to do over there? What's your?
So on the side, after we're done in with the wedges, I'll just bring my glass in over. I will need 4 of those in here.
Okay, cool. Here's your wedges. 1, 2, 3, and.
And the flaring.
So I do a little flare, my brother. Don't let me flare you up here.
With that.
Hey?
And.
Don't let me flare you up.
If you may also start on
What else? What else do you need?
My other garnish that I'll need on that. So that
great.
pineapple.
So we're going to change garnish stations.
On that.
What are you looking for with the pineapple?
So just need triangles.
Triangles, got you. Let me guess, 4.
4.
Yeah.
Got right.
Let's see if I can get this one done.
There we are, quick
Next
and easy.
shift.
And then after that, I'm going to need you to char these for me.
You see that.
So now we're using the big
Now it's a party, baby.
Now we're getting into the
Now it's a party.
whole play. So I'm going to need you to char these for me.
Okay.
We just want to caramelize the pineapple, make it really nice and sweet.
Nice.
And after that, we're going to dust it with a little bit of allspice.
That's great.
So it also has a bit of that kick to go in with the actual cocktail, and now we're going to put it together.
Ooh, this is amazing.
Sure.
Can I do something quickly?
Yeah.
I char it.
Right there. This man has already got it.
I always put a little bit of citrus on top there, and now we're going to make it happen, okay?
All right.
So now we're going to go the char.
So I think while you're getting the char in, I'm going to start on with the drink here. So
go for it.
With the lime wedges that we're having on the inside, I'm just going to muddle this a little bit to get the juice out of
My
first.
man. Oh, Simba, this is great, eh?
Feels fun to be behind you.
No, this is a feel-good breakfast show. We love a good cocktail. In fact, while you're doing that, you know, the Tropica comes in various delicious flavors, and You know, it's convenient when it comes to, you know, these sizes as well. You can just grab and go for the weekend, or perhaps you can do something, you know, a little bigger for the entire family. So for these mocktails, these Tropica mocktails, you can use any of your favorite Tropica flavors. You just have to really use your imagination and go straight into it. And I think with regard to garnish with mocktails, I mean, the sort of the constituents of it, not a lot, but you can really make it look pretty. You can add a cherry or two here and there, strawberry. It's really beautiful. And I'm going to do both sides of these, Simba.
Yes, please.
That's the whole idea. Oh, this is great.
All right.
It's also very relaxing. What have you been up to? That muddling looks
So on this outside,
fantastic.
just muddling in the lime on the inside. Also want to try and press it as much as you possibly can.
And you are also muddling with the rinds on, which is also giving it another depth of flavor.
Yes,
with
exactly.
That, eh?
So the oils from the skins are going to integrate with the pineapple, and then you'll have that really beautiful citrus kick to the drink.
Fantastic.
So after we've done with that, just going to add on a little bit of this crushed ice.
Already I'm loving what that muddle looks like as well. It's really good to me.
And also, don't mind being messy. It's part of the job when you're behind the bar or in the kitchen.
Okay, we got about 60 seconds to make this all come together. So
all right. And
let's
then
make it happen, my friend.
I'm going to top this up with a little bit of ginger beer.
Nice.
Use my spoon to just mix that up a little bit.
It's already looking good. It's going to taste amazing.
Okay, so I'm coming over to you if you're already there.
All right.
I've got my first part of the garnish in, which is my pineapple.
Beautiful.
On that.
Well, there, that's as good as it's going to get for now.
And while we're on
a little
this,
sprinkle of allspice.
I'll just grab one of these.
And why the allspice? Give us a little profile here.
So on this, I wanted to complement the ginger. So the ginger already has a little bit of that spicy element. Yeah. And we're going tiki, so we're going kind of Caribbean vibes. And it's always on that spicy vibe. Pineapple, ginger, a little bit of allspice, which is also known as Jamaican pepper.
Oh, man.
So we kind of have that going in. And just a little bit of that on the side there. And there we have it.
There we have it. It's beautiful and it's easy, and there are going to be more of these recipes coming up for Simba in the next couple of minutes in Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's one smooth way to start your weekend with a Tropica mocktail. All these recipes are available at expressoshow.com. Thank you, Simba.
Absolute pleasure.
Live this smooth life with a Tropica. Tropica, nothing smoother. Made with love by Clover.
This is nothing. This is just who we are.
Alfredo! Dai, o Alfredo.
We date Italian.
So Forex.
We drive Italian. Living la dolce vita. And now you can see. That's what it is. Gate. We're Italian.
Perfect.
That's why I was pizza. I'm Italiano. And we always eat Italian. Every day. Fetis and mornings. Bravo to you.
Join the bank that's best for your money. Nedbank. See money differently.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back, you beauties. 1 hour of the show left to savor with you before the weekend, baby. And it's going to be a lot of leopard print. That's all I'm going to say. There's just going to be a lot of leopard print. Stick around to find out more. But yes, one last opportunity to get through some of those news and sporting headlines and set the tone weather-wise. Carl's got the details.
Let's get straight in. Nationally, the nature conservation body Izimvelo Wildlife KZN has launched a so-called smart fence project in the Hluhluwe Mfolozi Park to curb rhino poaching. 224 rhinos were poached in the park last year, and the Minister of Forestry and Fisheries, as well as Environmental Affairs, Barbara Creasy, visited the park and spoke to park managers about their challenges. Creasy says the latest statistics show that rhino poaching syndicates have moved their operations from the Kruger National Park to the KwaZulu-Natal region. She says the department is investigating opportunities to become involved in the project in the future. Now, ratings agency S&P has downgraded its outlook on South Africa to stable from positive, citing the intense rolling blackouts and other infrastructure constraints. The agency says also worrying is the slow implementation of structural reforms and delays in dealing with governance and performance of state-owned enterprises, or SOEs. It says contingent liabilities from SOEs pose continued downside risks to the country's fiscal and debt position. And meanwhile, the electricity crisis continues to cause mayhem in the local economy on many fronts. S&P says load shedding challenges are weighing on the growth of this country. Now, internationally, Amnesty International has called on authorities in Ethiopia to immediately fit restrictions on several social media networks that began a month ago. The blocked sites include Facebook, Messenger, and as well as TikTok, Telegram, and YouTube. No official reason has been given for the blocking, though it happened following a split in the popular Orthodox Church, which had raised tensions in the deeply religious country. Social media content creators in Ethiopia have complained that traffic is down, though some people have been using virtual private network software to access those sites. Now, at least 9 people have died in a new wave of strikes on Ukraine. In Russia, Russia has used rare hypersonic missiles. Now, the latest barrage was the most severe to hit Ukraine in weeks. The attack cut a nuclear plant in Ukraine, Europe's largest, from the grid, although power was later restored. The Ukrainian military claimed it had shot down 34 cruise missiles and 4 Iranian-made Shahed drones. And President Vladimir Putin has highlighted Russia's investment in ballistic hypersonic missiles, which can travel at more than 5 times the speed of sound. Now, the hijacking of vehicles of late has moved to a completely new level. Hijackers are colossal, blatant, fearless, and couldn't care less if anyone knows their identity. And oh yes, they absorb their loot right on the spot. This is dangerous. They also do this regularly. The most famous hijacker is a greedy wild elephant, which stops passing trucks to steal sugar cane. The 35-year-old Jumbo, nicknamed Fatty, emerges from the forest on a beautiful road in a province in Thailand. Every single year, he positions himself directly in front of oncoming trucks, forcing them to stop, and then very casually reaches up to the sweet-smelling cargo on their trailers. Footage shows Fatty gorging the sweet, freshly harvested snacks. An onlooker, Awa Wanapin, said, Fatty comes out of the forests every year to waylay sugarcane trucks. Actually, many of them do this now. This is an elephant thing in Thailand. Now, Thailand has become 2,000 protected, has some 2,000 protected Asian elephants wandering freely in the protected forests. Killing them carries a prison term of at least 3 years and a massive fine. So that is it for your news and elephant stories that you can remember throughout your weekend. We've got traffic and weather for you. Here's Graham.
Well, in the hopes that your journey to work is going to be a lot less fraught, let's start in Cape Town of the Western Cape. There is mist affecting visibility across the city this morning. Look at that. Please put your headlights on and make sure that you keep a safe following distance. It really does make all the difference. Then moving to Germiston in Johannesburg, there is a stationary vehicle on the N3 northbound. That's at Geldenhuys interchange again. The left lane has been obstructed and there is obviously slow-moving traffic as a result. Just stay safe out there. Choose another route if you can. Let's get into the weather. So let's start with a weather perspective. Having formed to the northwest of Australia some 30 days ago, Storm Freddy, which is stealing a lot of the headlines lately, is still going strong and could end up in the record books. In fact, the estimation that is it already has done that as the longest lasting tropical storm on record. Now, the World Meteorological Organization is currently analyzing the weather system to see if its longevity is indeed record-breaking. Over the past week or so, it's been bounced between southern Mozambique and coastal Madagascar. However, it's now strengthening again and is expected to head back to Mozambique as a cyclone once more, with winds gusting in excess of 160 kilometers an hour, as well as a coastal storm surge. And expected to make landfall on the coast of central Mozambique later today. As winds gradually ease, flooding will become the major hazard. Between 30 and 50 centimeters of rain could fall in central Mozambique and southern Malawi over the weekend, which would obviously cause devastating floods in the region. Next week, impactful rain will also occur over parts of Zimbabwe and Zambia. Now, let's turn that lens around and take a look at your neck of the woods. And for our final sunrise update, we've got some beautiful pictures. Thank you. Rani in Margate Beach, exploring her surroundings, sent in a blissful view of the sun blazing over the ocean. Thank you for that one. Then Stallone captured another holiday feel, from palm trees to violet tones in the sky. Breathtaking. Thank you for that. And Prakash sharing his daily views down in Durbs. This image showing off how many colors the sky can truly glow up with. Oh, absolutely stunning. It looks like it's photoshopped, as well as an amazing video capturing a live view of the sunrise as it happens. Oh, and a few runners getting out there, doing what we wish we all could be doing. Thank you. We love seeing how you start your day. So please share those sunrise views on 063-408-8863. Right, ahead of the weekend, temperatures become a little bit more important. Let's delve in, starting in Polokwane, 16 your low, going up to 29 degrees. Slight chance of rain there as well. And Mbombela ranging between 19 and 31. Pretoria, 16 and 33. Johannesburg, pretty hot as well, 14 and 31 your range for the day. Mahikeng, 17 is your minimum, going up to 33 degrees. Klerksdorp, you start on 14, going up to 33 as well. Similarly in Kimberley, 17 and 33 your range for the day. Down in Bloem, also hot, 11 your low, going up to 31 degrees. Richards Bay, 22 and 30 degrees, with a 41% chance of some rain and thunder showers there. Pietermaritzburg ranging between 18 and 29 degrees, with a chance of rain as well. Then down in Durbs, expect a little bit of humidity, with the temperature ranging between 23 and 29. Then Mthatha, 16 and 32 is where you find yourself today. East London, your low, 20, going up to 29 degrees. Craddock, 12 your low, going up to 35 today, so please be aware during those peak hours. Gqeberha, 18 is your low, going up to 28 degrees. George, 15 your low, going up to 25. Down in the mother city, still tempered by the clouds. No chance of rain, though, but the temperatures 15 and 20 for a moderate day. Then Worcester, you're ranging between 10 and 27. Sutherland, chilly start, 7 degrees, going up to only 28. But don't worry, Uppington balances out the whole country. 15 is your low, going up to 39 degrees. Just stay indoors today and stay hydrated and just stay happy. Let's see if we can help you do that.
Young, good-looking, chiseled, talented. Not Graham. Come with me. I'll show you somebody like that on your Feel Good Breakfast show. There's a gentleman here who's Mr. South Africa, and he is going to be entertaining you in the next couple of minutes. This is the gentleman over here, Fuad Williams, is going to be joining you for a session of singing and talent excellence, and we don't stand a chance. You can sing and he looks like this. It's a struggle for me, but for you, entertainment. Stay right there.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beauties. We are loving being able to explore some incredible talent this morning and a platform that is going to blow up for those connected to, I'm going to call it a community, a family of performers who are putting their hand up. Now, Mr. South Africa 2022 is showing that he is existing in many lanes. This has been an amazing platform for him to make his mark in a different way. Buddy, welcome back to this space.
Thank you.
It's difficult to know how to approach this with you because you've got a profile. You've got a big public profile. How does this fit into that ecosystem? Was Mr. South Africa something that was always on the cards and feeding into this? Was it just something that organically happened? Set the scene for us. Where are you in your own journey right now?
Okay, thanks, Graham. I would say IATS, International Arts Talent Association, it's Arts Africa. They provided the tools for me to grow myself as a brand.
I love
and when I auditioned there, I had absolutely no confidence.
Really?
Solely because in the past I have attempted to put myself out there but failed. So be it on high school, be it university studies, it's always something that took over. But receiving a call back, it just allowed me to believe in myself again. And it allowed me to follow my dreams and ignited a drive in me that just wants to go from strength to strength.
When you look at what you've achieved after that click, that aha moment, do you feel like the same man now? Because the talent's clearly always been there, and not just one, you're a multi-talented performer. When you look back now, are you a different person because of going through this gateway? And I say this because you've got young men and women now following in exactly the same path who probably went through exactly what you've been through.
Yes. I would say it definitely changes you for the better, and that self-belief and the drive to never give up on your passions. I'd say follow your dreams as best as you can.
You got it.
Because you can do it. You deserve it, definitely.
And no one can dispute you on that because you're proving it right now. You are absolutely conquering in all those areas.
Yeah, thanks.
Your vibe as someone who can push out in any direction, what typifies your style? What do you enjoy singing the most, and what are you going to treat us with this morning?
Okay. I love any song that displays beauty, feel-good vibe, and just that you could show your emotion, and you can actually bring a story across, and the people can relate to that as well.
Oh, you're going to fit right in, yeah, my friend. That's what we are all about this morning. What are you going to be singing for us?
I'll be singing Tennessee Whiskey by Chris Stapleton.
Because we have to on a Friday, my brother. Enjoy, soak
Thank
up
you.
absolutely every second. Let's get the chairs out of here.
Thank
the
you.
weekend has officially begun.
Your breakfast show, this is Expresso, and I can tell you now, it is a beautiful opportunity to do a little cocktail for you now. After sipping some of the smooth mocktails that Simba, the mixologist extraordinaire, made a little earlier, we got a bit of a curveball here. Simba, you weren't convinced that I could make a cocktail on my own, right? Or a mocktail, that is.
Listen, I was kind of convinced when I asked you to cut the wedges when you did the little lemon roll there.
I try my thing.
Yeah, you try your thing. That's...
But we've actually got a little bit of a challenge.
All right.
Here. We want to try and make a Tropica mocktail of our own.
Okay.
But what we need is competitors.
All right.
So I'm going to be on this station over here. The other person I can think of is the man himself. We've got G coming in.
All right, let's
G
do this.
is one of the best mocktail makers in this side of the equator.
Okay.
I'm sitting in a Simba.
I didn't want to tell you that earlier to intimidate you. I just wanted to give you your time to shine, okay?
No, it's all right.
Whoa, what is going on here, guys?
Are you ready?
You ready for this?
I'm ready.
So we're going to get into this, and so I guess I'm going to be judging
So,
this.
yeah, so you've left a whole lot of...
Wow.
So we have to choose, essentially, we have to choose a hero flavor, a Tropica hero flavor, and then build our mocktail around the Tropica flavor.
Simba.
Yes.
What advice, I'm sorry, it's going to be like that for the rest of the show, I'm so sorry. So what advice do you have going into something like this for someone who has zero experience making cocktails? No, what's the vibe when you approach it? What should we be looking out for?
So I'd say with the first thing to go in is you always want to look for balance.
Okay.
That's the one thing. Your drink has to taste good, but it also shouldn't be too sweet, too tart. And we're also going to be looking at the technique and how you're going to do it. So simple does it, but also if you want to flair and do everything, you're more than welcome to. But the simplest approach to anything is always fresh, always balanced, and have fun with it.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
This is daunting, but it's very exciting, hey? All right.
Yes, it is. Okay. Let me guess. Which one do you want?
Thank you.
I'll take it.
I think they do it on purpose.
I'll take my baby one. She's very cute. That's why. All right, here we go. So we don't have a timer. We just want to get us just to go for it, right?
All right, cool. So you guys have got what? A minute on the clock to do this?
You want to do a minute?
All right. Let's put it together. Quick and easy.
Woo! Yeah, let's go.
Wow, okay. Let's do it.
Let's go first.
I have a feeling you already have a really big unfair advantage on this here.
Yeah, but
Rim
look,
the glass to start off with.
I'm kind of trying to...
Let's go here.
Sugar, we got sour.
I'm going to make my hero flavor. I'm going to do Tropical Pineapple as the hero flavor. Drop some of that there. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Oh, man.
What flavor combinations are you thinking with that, with the pineapple?
You know what? About a 20-second. I'm going to do a cool red as well because I'm going to get a little bit of an orange mix over there. We're going to shake that up. I'm going to muddle. Sorry.
My hands there. So let's grab a little bit of this.
Hands
But
there.
hey, we don't have
There
time.
you go. That's it.
Time to play
Thank you. We don't have time to play around.
What do you
don't. Okay. I'm going to go down with the blackberries over here, which is fantastic.
I think those will
That's
work.
it. Okay. Which is always good here.
Berry vibes.
Perfect.
You don't have any ice in your shaker, though?
That doesn't matter because I'm going to do a little bit of this.
All right.
Beautiful stuff there. Got a bit of...
And then this. Yeah, it works. So now...
I was going to layer it up, but...
yeah.
Oh, it smells amazing.
That does,
I think it's going to be beautiful.
There we go. The irony.
So
the irony.
It's got,
The
I know.
irony of
I
this
know. I
with the
thought the irony is not lost on me.
Okay.
I kind of feel like it's before and after. I kind of feel like.
That's right. Yes, this is during. This is during the drink. All right. That's how it goes.
This is Friday. This is Saturday.
What are you up to?
Okay,
And this is Sunday.
Now
What are you doing?
Oh, we'll just do a little bit of theatrics.
Oh, come on! Where was that earlier?
So we're going to have a little bit of that rocking show over here. If I can get just a little drop of water or anything on there.
Okay.
Even with a bit of that Tropica in.
Okay, let's go. I'm going to actually Tropica do it.
Tropica it on there. So just a little bit of that fluid. And we've got a little bit of that smoke going in.
Oh, wow.
So
We just made Tropica clouds.
Exactly.
You are a mad scientist.
Almost feels like we're on a volcanic mountain going in.
Look at that. Look at the drama. Look at the theatre.
You see, that's what he wanted to finish it in front of you. You know, that's
Just because we have
Oh, it's good points at the end.
You know, because...
Oh, my goodness. Okay, hold on. We have to present it properly. So we have to put this over here. I have to give it a good presentation.
Okay.
And present it properly. Which, what are you...
I know. I was worried that it was getting too cool, so I just wanted to warm it up. There we go.
Okay.
Done.
All got
I don't know if that's
techniques
legal
going
because
on.
we're done with the challenge. I mean, otherwise I would have macerated some cherries. Okay. That's how it goes.
Okay, put them on the
Yes.
plinth
Okay.
of
Okay.
power.
So this is where we're gonna go. Okay. So this is Graham's over here. That's mine over there.
These are officially dry ice.
Dry
too.
ice there.
Something is screaming,
Okay.
do not touch the dry ice.
Oh,
Something
do
in
not.
a childhood experience or something.
This is
telling me-
fantastic. I like how we're moving around each other, which is always good.
It's the dance.
And then I'm gonna just put some of this on. Yeah. There you go. Now, that's what I'm talking
A
about.
little bit of that theater.
Right, what do you think?
I like it. Presentation-wise, they both look really good and
Thank you.
refreshing.
No, but which one's the best? That's
But
actually what we're asking.
The final thing is now,
Yeah.
it's to taste these things.
That's correct. Yes,
That's
you
the
do.
one.
That's the way to do it. So,
Yeah.
so give it a taste.
I feel like you should give it a taste.
All right.
feel like
Considering that mine was done within the allotted time.
So I'll start off with yours.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much. I wanted to do a nice balance, though, something just purity, and also the blackberries in the middle. You know, that's what I actually was looking for. And then the last one.
This one I titled Glass Half Full.
Yes,
Glass half full.
Glass half full. Considering that a third of that cocktail was made after the allotted time, but of course that you'll hear that and feel that in the taste. There we go.
The thing is, they both taste delicious.
here we go.
And so here's the thing. Technique-wise, I'm going to give it to you, Carl. Undoubtedly. No doubt. But
Sorry.
also, you showed some pretty good skill at the end there with like that.
Yeah.
That torch on top of that and caramelizing the sugar.
Broke the rules, but I made a name for myself.
You did make a name.
You're a mixologist. We break rules.
True. And you have fun with this.
So visit our socials and let us know whose smooth tropical mocktail you will be trying this weekend. Give it a shot.
Live the smooth life with a Tropica. Tropica, nothing smoother. Made with love by Clover.
We promised you a magical performance. We've been chomping at the bit for this one, and we cannot wait to now officially kickstart the weekend. And it's an opportunity to get up and move. Yes, we've got the Friday dance coming, but I have a feeling you're going to get up and move right now. Let's bring in the weekend. Take it away.
I used to spend my nights out in a barroom. Liquor was the only love I know. But you've rescued me from reaching the bottom and brought me back from being too far gone. You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. You're as warm as a glass of brandy. And honey, I stay stoned on your love all the time. I look for love in the same old places, y'all. Found the bottom of a bottle's always dry. When you poured out your heart, I didn't waste it. 'Cause there's nothing like your love to keep me high. You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. You're as warm as a glass of brandy. Honey, I stay stoned on your love all the time. As Tennessee whiskey, as Tennessee whiskey, as Tennessee whiskey. You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey, as Tennessee whiskey, as Tennessee whiskey.
I love it.
Thank you.
The rasp on that voice. Howard Williams here representing an incredible opportunity for young performers to make their mark, not just here in South Africa, but abroad. So to all aspiring actors, models, singers, and dancers, the stars may finally align for you at the International Arts Talent Showcase. Auditions are happening in Cape Town the 11th of March and Johannesburg the 18th of March. We'll keep all of those details up. This is where you could be headed. I hope that felt good, man. It sounded amazing. Well
Thanks, my friend.
done.
Thank you.
Okay.
Welcome back to Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso here in S3, and we're always ready to put a smile on your dial, especially ahead of a weekend. And we have somebody who is hilarious, somebody who is lekker funny, award-winning and international comedian, Kosanati Maki. V Maki jaw fall, he does. He makes his debut appearance